So this is a continuation about our last topic, pests and diseases of forest plantation trees in the Philippines. So we have already discussed what are the difference or what are the advantages of natural forests as compared to artificial forests. So as what I've said, ang katong natural forest is mas in terms of species, is mas daghan ang naa diha as compared to artificial forest. That's why it is more or na siya natural nga protection against the attack of different pests. Okay? If there are diverse insects species, so mag-serve sila as a biocontrol or biological control sa katong pests. So when we say biocontrol, it refers to the natural enemy of a certain species or insects. So ang biocontrol is or part siya sa kaning IPM, or when say IPM, Integrated Pest Management. So mo to siyang isa sa advantage sa natural forest as compared to the artificial forest. And we've already discussed what is a disease. So kung ingon gaytag disease, it is the unfavorable condition nga ma-experience sa imuhang plants. So like ang iyahang physiological processes, or when we say physiological processes, it refers to the internal processes sa imuhang plants like photosynthesis. So or conduct of food and water nga role sa ato ang vascular tissues like phloem and xylem. So mo na siya ang disease or defect or physiological defect sa imuhang plants. And we've already discussed what is a pathogen. So kung ingon gaytag pathogen, it refers to the disease-causing agent. So ang pathogen is a living organism. So as what I've already discussed, so ang natay causal agent ka living and non-living. So when we say living, katong mga biotic agents like katong mga pathogen nga bacteria, fungus, insects, or they are considered as living agent or biotic agent, and they are also contagious. So when we say contagious, magtakod-takod siya from one species or from one tree to other trees in a plantation or in a natural forest. And napod tay ginatawag as abiotic or non-living or mga non-living causes or non-living agents of a disease like climatic conditions. So for example, imong plant is na-stress ya sa extreme heat or frost or tugnaw ra kaayo, or soil conditions, or when we say soil conditions, we are referring to edaphic factors like ang iyahabang nutrients na naa sa soil is kulang ba siya sa nitrogen. So for example, if kulang siya sa nitrogen, so it causes yellowing, or panang imong leaves is, so from the word yellowing, mag-yellow siya because of the lack of nitrogen, in which it is necessary during the process of photosynthesis, and necessary po siya to form green colored nga leaves. So mo to siya ang different causes of disease. We have abiotic and biotic, and natay kaning injury versus disease. Disease is the abnormal physiological function. So mo tong gingan gaina, it refers to internal processes or naay defect ang imong plants internally, in which it is caused by constant irritation of a causal factor. So for example, imong causal factor is fungus. So fungus is considered as the widespread cause of diseases in trees. So naputay katong mga nematodes, bacteria, and other living organisms. And mo ni siya ang disease is mag-cause siya, or it reduces its economic value sa imuhang trees. And we have injury. So when we say injury, it is a harmful physiological activity caused by transient irritation. So injury is more of a biotic siya as compared to the disease. So, ang iyang cause is non-living. For example, during thinning or pruning, so ibutang na to, pruning is the cutting of the part or plant part of a tree. So, mag-consider siya as, mag-cause po siya injury like wala na ayo ang wound sa imuhang plants or sa imong trees. Thus, mag-cause siya injury. And then, kani siya nga injury is mag-lead gihapon siya into a disease. So, for example, ang imuhang tree is na-damage siya by pruning or thinning, natumbahan siya kahoy, nasamaran siya, thus it is prone to fungus. So, for example, kanang fungus is kanang makita nimo sa kahoy nga murag naa siya mushroom sa gawas, mao na siya. It is considered as a sign nga imuhang kahoy, for example, is infected na siya with or katong rat fungi or heart rat fungi, in which ang iyang gina-infest or gina-infect niya is ang katong heartwood sa imuhang tree. So, muna siya. And then, the kinds of plant cells and tissues that become infected determine the type of physiological functions of the plant that will be interfered with first. So, for example, we have infection of root. So, ginatawag na siya as, for example, root rots. So, if affected imuhang root is, it interferes the absorption of water and nutrients from the soil. So, ang water, or ang responsible, or mo siya ang responsible sa pag-conduct or pag-transport sa water is ang xylem man. So, mo na siya. And we have infection of xylem vessels. So, mag-cause siya og vascular wilts, certain cancers, in which it interferes with translocation or transportation of water and minerals to the crown of the plant. So, mana siya yung example sa mga disease. Certain cancers and vascular wilts. And we have infection of foliage. So, ang infection of foliage or ang leaves is pwede siya mag-cause of leaf spots or blights, in which it interferes or hinders the process of photosynthesis. Thus, magka-interfere siya sa food production sa imuhang plant. And we have fourth, infection of the cortex, or mag-cause siya of cortical cancer, viral infection of the phloem. So, ang phloem is responsible, or it is a type of vascular tissue in which it translocates photosynthetic products or food. So, ang xylem is for water, and while phloem is for food. And we have flower infection. So, some of the examples of diseases is kanang bacterial blights, viral and fungal infection, in which it interferes with reproduction, since flower is an example of a reproductive part sa imuhang plant. And we have infection of fruits. Example is fruit rot. So, malata ang katong prutas, in which it interferes with reproduction and or storage of reserve foods for a new plant. So, mo gihapon siya, ang fruit is an example of a reproductive part gihapon sa plant, and its role is to store reserve foods, especially during a dormant period. So, when say dormant period, mo na ang period nga imong plant is inactive siya. And next is we have classification of plant disease. So, disease may be classified in various ways. So, depending on the purpose to be observed. So, we have classification according to the causal pathogen, or unsa nga pathogen ang nag-cause of disease. So, like fungal disease siya when it is caused by fungi, viral which is caused by virus. So, ang virus is kinahanglan gini siya og host, or ang iyahang for example host plant or plant para maka-process siya or mahimo niya iyang role. So, mo na siya ang virus. It is more dependent sa host as compared to other type of pathogen. And we have bacterial, which is caused by bacteria, and we have nematode, or caused by nematodes, and it is common type of pathogen nga naa sa roots. So ang nematode is mura na siya og kaning mura siyang ulod in which gamay kay iyang size. So mao na siya ang nematode disease, and one of the disease nga iyang makos is kanang root knot or kanang dagway sa imong roots is naa siya burot-burot. So mao na siya ang isa sa cause or effect sa imuhang nematodes in which iyang i-infect or i-infest niya ang katong roots mismo. And in effect, na siya signs nga i-produce. So, minguntag signs mo to siya ang physical or external manifestation or external nga structure sa plant nga makita nga naa jud na siya disease. So, mo na iyahang kuan ang root knot is commonly cause siya sa nematodes in which ang root knot is mo to siya ang burot-burot sa katong roots. And we have classification according to symptoms. We have 3: necrotic, atrophic, and hypertrophic. So, first is necrotic symptoms. So, may gatag necrotic, it came from the word necrosis. So, kung may gatag necrosis, mag-cause na siya og death sa living tissues. So, kani siya nga symptom is mag-lead siya into death. So, atrophic, it means or ginatawag po nato siya as hypoplastic symptoms. So, yung tag-hypo, low or gamay siya. Napod tayo hypertrophic symptom in which from the word hyper, excess or excessive. So, ang kalahian nilang duha, kaning atrophic is ang part or specific part sa imuhang plant is mogamay ang iyang size. While ang hypertrophic is from the word hyper. There is an excessive amount or excessive size sa imuhang plant part. Like, for example, there is a prolific production of leaves or daghan na kay ang leaves. So, muna siya example sa hypertrophic. Ang atrophic is, example is dwarfing or kanang ang plant part is mogamay or ang plant mismo is mogamay ihang size. So, necrotic is nag-cause siya of necrosis. So, for example, ana is canker. And we have classification according to the part of the plant affected, either sa roots ba, stem, foliage, or leaves, fruits, and seed diseases or kadik sa reproductive parts sa imuhang plant.